10 weddings is like the sweet spot for me. And I would just turn at them and start laughing at them like, you're only doing 10? Yeah. We did 10 in the past 2 weeks pretty much.
They got burnt out. No, you didn't fucking burn out. You just stop and pause and adjust. That's what it is. Burnout is when you actually stop doing everything and you're just like, I'm done. I quit. Just throw your shit up and go.
He doesn't care about his ego. He cares about doing what's right for the business.
You focus on one thing, so now you're a specialist in that.
We are closing the gap on 500,000 views on YouTube. That's not the craziest part. The craziest part is that most of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. Do us a solid, smash that subscribe button and share it with a friend.
After doing our first 100 episodes, we learned so much about the business, so much about the podcast stuff, but most of all, we learned so much about us. One of the biggest things I think we learned was spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah.
You think you're doing more, but you're doing less.
Yeah. First of all, dude, congratulations on 100 episodes.
Congratulations.
It's not an easy milestone to hit. It sounds easy. It sounds cool and all, but think about 100 episodes, dude. That's a lot.
What do they say? Only like 10 to 20 or something like that? Or what is it? Like 10% only a podcast make it to episode 100, right?
Something like that.
Something
it's
like that.
A small percentage. But yeah, man, if they would have told you that it was going to be this hard to get here, would you have still done it?
I probably would have done it, but I would have done it fucking differently, honestly. And then honestly, you don't know.
Done them a lot.
What was hard for you? What is hard for you back then? Now you're just like, you see, like, I mean, that's just how it is. You see somebody else trying to start the thing, like when we started it, and then they're like folding like a table, folding like a lawn chair with something small. You're just like, baby,
Yeah.
baby, like you got much to learn, my boy.
Yeah, and that's what we tell people. Like, your first 100 videos they make gonna be pretty shitty. So like, get to those first 100. And then you're gonna actually start seeing some real changes, and it feels like we've done this forever. But now after the first 100 episodes, I'm like, all right, cool. This is what we had. The first ones are pretty shitty, understandably so. But like, cool. Let's see what the next 100 bring.
And the funny thing is, I feel like we still don't know really what we're doing, or like even with business, like yeah, cool, it's going, it's successful and stuff. But then you're just like, dude, I have a feel like we haven't even got started, and you're just like, you're at this, and obviously there's a lot of other stuff that we're gonna mess up on, fuck up on. But at this point where you're just like, okay, spread yourself too thin. Okay, check. How do you fix that? Or what things do you take in place to fix that? The biggest one was the weddings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, you gotta just evaluate yourself and like the business and stuff. Like, this goes out to like all the business owners out there. Like, evaluate where you are and where you want to be. Because yeah, like for us, like, we started doing both commercials and commercial work, marketing and stuff, and weddings. And we did the weddings because we were trying to get the commercial side and marketing side off the ground and running. And last year was just,
it's just like with every business. Like when you're starting off, you're just like, this guy's like, I'll give you money to do this. You're like, yeah. This guy's like, I'll give you money to do this. Yeah. And then once you start doing it, you're like, you're just running on a treadmill.
When you're starting,
keep going, but you're not going anywhere. You're just standing in one spot.
Yeah. When you're starting out, it's hard to say no to any money coming in.
Yeah.
So you got to say yes to everything. And that's what we realized last year. Last year was pretty much the turning point for us.
How much weddings? Just clarify it for like a lot of guys, because girls too, that when they do weddings, like they'll do like 10 weddings and they're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Like,
yeah,
it's a busy summer. How much weddings did we do last year, Eric?
Last year we did over 50 weddings.
Yeah, it was like 50, 54, 55. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and we had to have those conversations with people like, oh yeah, this year I got 10 weddings. Like, 10 weddings is like the sweet spot for me. And I would just turn at them and start laughing at them like, you're only doing 10? Yeah.
We did 10 this month.
We did 10 in the past 2 weeks pretty much. Because there was a lot of weeks, like especially in the summer, because when everybody gets married, it'd be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We do 3 or 4 weddings back to back to back to back.
That's plus the marketing stuff.
Plus the marketing stuff.
The other days.
So then you have
plus
no time.
Plus still with turnaround time in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh.
Yeah. So at that point you're running yourself dry. You have no. You'd be too tired from the wedding stuff to focus on the marketing stuff. That you wouldn't put 100% effort into it.
You start doing everything half-ass.
And then we also didn't have time for family, really. Because that's when we'd hang out with families, like weekends. But guess what? You're going on fucking weekends. So you're nowhere to be found.
Surprisingly, that's so after we did that evaluation, doing that stuff that you just said, you don't have time for family. Doing that evaluation, we did some internal changes and stuff like that, and our number one core value is family first.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that sparked it up a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe that was one of the reasons.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, like the wedding stuff. So if you guys are in need of a wedding videographer, photographer,
I'm not him.
I'm not him. I used to be him, not no more. And that was a hard thing to step away from, because we're not stepping away because we're bad at it. No,
There's people that still call us.
We're pretty good. People are still calling us. It's just
Unfair.
where do you want to go?
Yeah.
And that's not what we wanted to, or where we wanted to go to.
Hey guys, let's take a quick break from the podcast. We want to help business owners just like you stay competitive in today's marketplace. So for a limited time, we're giving you 10% off your next video project, whether it's a brand video, social media content, or ads. Just mention this podcast to get started. Let's get back to the show.
And also, like with the other marketing stuff, like we started off offering all the marketing services, the websites, the logos, and all that stuff too.
Really, the whole kitchen sink.
Yeah.
The whole kitchen sink. Just because, and that goes to another thing, like, someone's like, okay, yeah, I need help with this. We're like, oh yeah, but I need help with this. We're like, sure, I'll do it. And we need help with this. I'll do it. It's like, okay, no, like, just because you're good at it all, or just because you can do it all, doesn't mean you should do it all. If you build a team and have the right systems in place, yeah, who knows in the future, But now at this point, you're like, no, let's niche in, let's niche down.
Mm-hmm.
Niche or niche? I say niche. Niche. I'm not French.
That sucks.
But you just gotta niche down to whatever it is, and like become that. Like be good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Like just it's like the what do they say? It's like the 10,000 hours. Put 10,000 hours into something, and like you're gonna be a pro.
If you have
The thing is that if you put 10,000 hours throughout in that profession, whatever you want to do, in the next 30 years, or you can do it in the next 3 years or 5, whatever you want.
mm-hmm.
It's that rent's due every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, spreading yourself to the if you're a business owner out there, and you're trying to offer everything just because you can and you can do it, then you're not really doing what you want to do, because you started out with one idea in mind, but then other people started, like you're saying, like asking if you could do X, Y, and Z, so you start doing it, but then you're really costing your client, because you're not offering them 100% of what you could in this one spot. You're giving them 50% effort. It's like, yes, you're serving your client more with all these other services, but in reality, you're serving them less, because you're not giving 100% of your effort.
And if you focus just on one thing, so that was a realization that we had too. You focus on one thing, so now you're a specialist in that. So you're a cook, you're a chef in that. So it's like now your services, you can charge way more because that's all you do. So they're like, he must be really good at it if this is all he's doing. So it's like this, I like to call it the spider web effect. You start doing everything, like you can't do everything. You got, say for example, for us, I would just put, we had the weddings, and then we have the marketing videos, and then you got, someone's like, yo, can you build me a logo? I'm like, shit, here we go. Someone's like, hey, well, I need a website up, and then you're just like, well, like you see who other people that can't do that good, and you're like, dude, I can do one like 10 times better in half the time, like oh, and then like, what are the other things? Some other ad stuff, like it was just everything, and you're just like, okay, let's pump the brakes.
It's SEO and all that stuff.
Yeah. And you're just like, no, and it's not. And then people can take this and be like, oh, they got burnt out. No, you didn't fucking burn out. You just stop and pause and adjust. That's what it is. Burnout is when you actually stop doing everything and you're just like, I'm done. I quit. Just throw your shit up and go. Like, no, it's stopping, readjusting, reevaluating yourself and the business. And it's not just like, yes, it's what do I want, but then it's like, what does a business want?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we get the emotions like, cool. Sometimes I don't want to do something for the business, but like in the business, but you're like, well, I said I was going to do this, so now I got to do it because this is what the business needs to be able to get it to the goals that I set, the New Year resolution goals at the beginning,
Yeah. And I think, like you're saying, like, what does the business need? A huge part of that is letting go of that ego. Because we struggle with that, like, especially with the weddings. Like, we're the best around here to do it, so why wouldn't we do it? But just because you're the best at something doesn't mean you have to do it. And it's like taking that step back, letting the ego go, evaluating what does the business need. Because if you let the ego get in the way, then you're going to go right back to doing everything for everybody. And it's not necessarily going to be the best thing. So it's like, keep that ego in check. Because, it might...
How do you keep the ego in check?
It's a good question. Well, I think a big thing is having like a business partner to kind of balance you out. Like not... Because, I could talk to myself for hours and think I'm hot shit. And I have the greatest ideas or whatever. But then I talk to you and you're like, well, yeah, did you think about this, and this? I'm like, no. Didn't think about that. Oh, what about this? Oh, okay. And just having like that business partner or that person that you can go to and talk to, that kind of makes you think about other stuff. It's not just like you by yourself. No, it's like if you have someone to bounce ideas off of, I think that's the best thing for people. We are closing the gap on 500,000 views on YouTube. But that's not the craziest part. The craziest part is that most of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. Do us a solid. Smash that subscribe button and share it with a friend.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I think that's good. A lot of people don't bounce ideas off of, like, say, each other because they don't have a business partner. A lot of people like, the best business partner I can have. I heard a philosopher once said, the best business partner is an odd number is in less than 3. But I mean, it's like, It's good, but you still like bounce some sort. I think you still need to bounce ideas off of somebody else, whether it's another business owner. He's not like working in yours, but like, hey, I'm dealing with XYZ. How did you deal with it? But then again, it's like the ego, like, dude, I'm gonna look like a bitch saying I can't do this. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's what business owners should do, support one another and be able to have that community to be able to kind of do that, obviously behind closed doors, not just open. But
and that's going off of like one of my favorite like podcasts we had. Was with like Barry Walters. He talks a lot about like,
your voice is cracking out with Barry, Erick.
I know, it's because that's how good it was. Because with Barry, he let that ego go a while ago. Like he doesn't care about his ego. He cares about doing what's right for the business, and that's what kind of like made me realize like, oh shit, like, yeah, let that ego go and actually have conversations with other business owners. You're not in competition. Yes, you're in competition with other businesses in your industry, but just because they're not in your industry doesn't mean they can't give you advice.
Because most businesses, if you see, again, talking with so much conversation with business owners, most of them have the same problems. Mm-hmm. Like, it's employees, the wages, systems, like it's all these things, marketing, and it's almost the same. It's just a different service that we have or a different product, but they're all dealing with the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, why not? Or even to say we're in video production, if there's someone like way up there, like in another level that's, whatever XYZ money they're making, and you're like, oh, I'd like to learn from them. They got 50 employees and they're running like this. Let me see what I can learn from them. Because obviously they offer what I offer, but they're just on a different scale. So you could learn something from them. But you can easily just be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
But, it's the ego thing. So, guys, if you're a business owner, you need to sometimes, and it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. You need to take a step back, reevaluate what you want to do. A lot of people call it rebranding, whatever you want to name it. But you need to be able to take a step back and see what you really want to do moving forward. What's going to be the best for the business? How is it going to be more effective? And what things do I really need to focus on? Because if not, you're just going to be running on a treadmill and not even going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's to the first 100 episodes and to the next 100 episodes we're going to have.